Meticulously engineered for maximum amount of spin, this is the Dunlop SX300 Tour. Now 98 square inches, Dunlop has created a more forgiving racket to not only provide ample access to spin, but help with control and consistency. Spin Boost Plus technology and wider string spacing make this an explosive racket and a spin monster. Sonic Core Infinergy remains in the upper hoop for comfort at impact. Players looking for something offering massive bite with a bit of precision will want to take a look at this tour version of the racket. I was excited to play test this racket as I remember loving the previous version and was happy to see the smaller 98 square inch head. But with this update, I found it to swing explosively faster than the previous one. So I knew I would need to add some weight to really hone in on what spec I like from a racket and what works best for my swing style and my game. Without a little bit of weight at 10 and 2, I found I was swinging too fast and I was almost in front of the ball and sometimes felt a little bit of instability, especially if I was just timing it wrong or missing the sweet spot. But once I added that weight and beefed up that swing weight a little bit more, this racket was unlocked and worked really amazing. It offers tons of spin, which isn't necessarily my game normally, but I had a lot of fun arcing balls and really whipping through the ball with this racket in my hand. And my favorite place to play with this racket, similar to the previous version, was on serve. I really found I could hit big first serves as well as get that ball hopping up and over my opponents on second serve. So with a little bit of customization on my part, this racket felt amazing at impact. I love that Infinergy technology that they have in there, really plush, big sweet spot. There were times where I felt a tiny bit disconnected from the ball and I didn't know exactly where my shots were going, but it was still fun. Tons of power, tons of spin, a really great update.
As Michelle mentioned, Dunlop chose to go with an almost entirely new set of specs for this new version of the Dunlop SX300 Tour, with a smaller head size as well as a lighter weight to the racket. Felt like it swung much faster than the previous version, but was overall more user-friendly. It's definitely a firm layup of graphite and a very open 16x19 pattern, so that led to easy access to power and spin from the baseline. So much so that I did have a little bit of trouble hitting my targets, especially on the forehand wing. The ball had a very high launch angle, so the trajectory was almost up before it went out, and the ball sometimes didn't quite dip into the court where I wanted it to, so it sailed long. Up at net though, volleying was wonderful. It was a point and shoot racket, drove the ball deep in the court, so from that aspect I loved the frame. Serving, I struggled to find a big flat first serve, but that really didn't bother me all that much given the fact that my slice and kick were working so well. So for players looking for monster spin and that really want to take control of point play, definitely check this racket out. Now we'll pass it over to our playtest team on the East Coast in our Georgia location. Andrew, what were your thoughts on the racket?
Thank you, Sage. Two things I want to mention about the SX300 Tour that I really like right away is how fast this racket plays, especially for a tour spin racket. It's definitely on the higher end of maneuverability and speed. For me, I have a little bit of wrist issues coming up as I get a little bit older from an old injury, so it's nice to have a little bit quicker swing weight to help me generate that wrist movement. The other thing I really enjoy is the price point. So this is still at a pretty forgiving price point as far as rackets go now, especially for a high-end top-tier racket. So going right into the ground strokes, I enjoyed playing a lot of topspin ground strokes on my forehand. As a 4-0, my backhand is a little bit weaker and I tend to hit more slices and two-handed backhand flat shots. So when I was on the run in difficult situations, this was a little bit errant for me, but that is likely all user error. As I noticed when I was able to set up and get some topspin, it did the job just fine. Going into serves, I really enjoyed being able to put slices on the ball. I typically lowered my toss a little bit and just really allowed myself to hit the side of the ball, generating a ton of spin, which this Dunlop SX definitely generated a lot of spin. Another key factor is it's a 98 head size, but the string pattern is a little bit open. So those of you who are thinking you're getting a 98, you're getting more control. To me, this feels a little bit more like a 100 head size. Overall though, I believe this Dunlop SX300 line is very underrated. This one is more maneuverable than your previous generation, so keep that in mind if you're a previous user. But if maybe you're a previous user from the SX300, step up and give the 300 Tour a try. We strung our Dunlop SX300 Tour with Dunlop Black Widow and Dunlop Explosive Spin at around 52 pounds. For more information on this racket and many others, be sure to check out Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, and Tennis Only. Thanks for watching.